Hi, my name is Amy Larson, and I'm a student at Morningside. I also teach special ed in Iowa. My video is on video modeling and the effects of student behaviors. The problem is that today many teachers struggle with finding social skills in the special education classroom to teach those students with a IEP with a learning behavior goal. Social skills is a lesson that is given according to the IEP to a student each day for the most part, and the skills cover something that the student's working on. So it could just work on relations with peers or even the ability to stay on task. In this particular lesson plan that I will propose to implement would be taking turns. The ability to show the desired behavior for students usually needs a model, the expected pre-teaching or reteaching. What do we want the students to see? This ties in with the social learning theory. It is an older theory, but it still applies today. And it is the social learning theory that behavior can be acquired through direct experiences or by observing the behaviors of others. And this will tie into my plan because I will use video modeling. And so this is just an updated version of this theory. This theory is saying that you need a model that is part of the activity so the students can observe and see what's going on. We will do the same thing with the students, but using a video. This is how my technology is applied to this. So the video will be blended into the student's lesson through the use of video modeling. We will also use a couple of other technologies like iMovie to help put together the video with the students. The student will be able to role play their behavior after there is a lesson and the student creates a script. The research shows that video modeling is an assistant technology device that can be used to teach students the desired skill. Additionally, research has shown that the impact of teaching social skills with the use of video modeling with children with autism was successful. Additional research has showed that through video modeling, teachers can capture the appropriate or inappropriate behavior in a setting. With this, an important thing to mention is that teachers and administrators of this plan need to make sure that they get approval of the student or the students being videotaped. How this would work in this situation is someone would videotape the student doing the desired behavior. If the student is not taking turns, they might be videotaped to show what they're doing. If the student is taking turns, it would be videotaped to show the student later on what they did correctly. Studies also found that it was successful in performing appropriate behavior. So when a teacher videotaped the student to what was expected, they found it was an effective tool to show what they can do. So this is actually showing those students that they can do what you want them to do. And when teachers take the time to use video modeling, it is proven and shown that it is worth it. So there were 3 implementation choices. The first one was a targeted still instruction through video modeling. So research showed that you can do some evidence-based and social skills group with video modeling that can support your targeted behavior. So this is when you know the behavior that you want to do. You would use video modeling to teach the social skill. So you would pre-plan your video and have it ready to prepare to show the student. The teacher will need to blend or merge different videos together, and they could use things like iMovie to make that final product. I also put in a factor of showing praise to the student, so giving some verbal praise paired with Class Dojo. Class Dojo is a great tool. Typically it's used with an iPad in the classroom, and the teacher can walk around and select the student and give them a point when they're doing the expected behavior. This can be used with a classroom of students or can be used with particular students with targeted skills. So you could have your student and you could have this skill taking turns, following directions, being attentive. And when the student's doing one of those, they can get a targeted check. Yes, I'm doing it. And that can be shown to parents or other people that this would be important to, and the student could get praise for those targeted skills. My implementation approach number 2 is role play video modeling to teach that targeted skill. So role playing among students is an important skill. It has been proven to show that it can maximize the benefits of the skill. When videotaped, the student is able to play back and see themselves performing, and again, using the I can attitude. And the teacher will need to use the same programs like the first one to blend and put it together. And again, I did put in an implementation piece here to give praise by giving 1 minute of an online educational game, and those can be banked up for minutes of 10 minutes at a time. So rewarding that student for doing what is expected. Implementation approach 3 is video self-modeling of a known behavior to teach the targeted skill. With this, studies have shown that they were able to do the appropriate behavior in the classroom, and some reporting even said it was fun. Also, a study had said that peer-mediated video modeling can support social communication developing with like peer students. So with this plan, what the student's going to do, we'll also have, all 3 are very similar, but with this one, the students are going to be making it. It's self-modeling, so they're actually going to put together a plan. They will have that skill, will work with the students. So say it's taking turns, they're going to say, yes, I know that I need help with this, or it'll be something that we've already have talked about in their social skills plan with their IEP. The student's going to put together a plan with another peer, like peer, and they're going to write a script and they're going to perform their modeling of this. And there will be some type of instruction prior to this, but the students are going to be part of putting that together, role playing out, helping put that video together. And again, they might use things like the past one had said with the iVideo and blending things. The expectations here would also be giving praise, but using the PBIS coupon system that the school is currently using. There is a reward system that students can earn their coupon to purchase things, and this could be in the use of electronic games, with most of my students do select. So the implementation plan that I selected was number 3. So with this, I want to mention that today most of the students are aware of the mistakes that they are performing at school. And with this, they also might have a reward PBIS system that would pair with what the school is doing with this plan. And the self-modeling with this would also benefit my 5th graders who I would plan to use this with. They're also familiar with technology, and I think that they would really like to use the iVideo to help publish and put together the plan. So my implementation plan, we're going to see the lesson plan. So this is a 2-week plan. What's nice about this is that you could take out taking turns and put in any other type of skill that you want your student to work with, and just change it to match whatever that skill is. So with this is taking turns. For here, the teacher will be taking pictures of the student and placing inside the book with what the student will be using for social skills and taking turns. So with this, we're going to put together a book that will have students' pictures and what they're doing, and the student will be able to see themselves taking turns. There'll be an iPad use that can record the student taking turns. I will also have a wall chart for taking turns, and that will be done in some of the social skills. We'll find more picture books related to taking turns. I have a subscription to Reading A through Z, and there's some books and stuff on taking turns and worksheets, so students would be working on that as well. And grade level review worksheets with students using PBIS tickets for taking turns. That's my planning as a teacher. So we look up here, and resources that we'll need is an iPad with video modeling, the PBIS coupons, wall charts, and markers. Let's look back. Let's go down to the lesson plan. What and why is taking turns? So we were going to discuss what is taking turns. We will work on practicing with a video. We'll have some games that students will practice with. So we'll get something like Connect 4. The students will take turns practicing. We'll use those books in reading A through Z. We'll create the wall chart. The student will be reading the books in A through Z. They can access that at home so parents can see it also. They will have an iPad to record and take turns with, and the PBS coupons they'll be working on. Artifacts that can be used is student worksheets, photo of student acting out the skill, feedback, and observation of video modeling. So the lesson goes down further to week 2. There'll be some more lesson planning. The iPad again, the reading A through Z. The lesson plans go back into that reading A through Z. We're going to practice and act out situation with peers. This is when the students are going to be creating their scripts and what that will look like when they do get videotaped. They're going to act out the situations. They're going to play more take turns activities. We're going to video model and put it together. We might video model them taking turns at water fountains games or recess games. And then we'll update the wall chart again with taking turns and when we might take turns and why it's important. And the student will use the reading A through Z books and access those at home as well. So in summary, with that implementation plan is students are going to be working on reading books, working on a lesson on taking turns. They're going to be practicing taking turns, and they're going to be videotape taking turns. And that will be played back and used. And anytime that the student acts up again, we can always replay that video. For my proposed findings and my final reflection. Mainly, the main thing that I wanted to point out was that I think the students would be successful using this. I think that they would be successful for the first part for a little while, and then they might need to have the video played back so that they could reuse it again when needed. I think that role playing is important for these students, and I think them helping have ownership and putting it together will be beneficial for them as well. My final reflection was I'm looking forward to next year in school when I can actually implement with this on some of my students. The students that I had planned to do this with will be leaving school as they're 5th graders and they'll go to middle school. But I can see doing this with some other students that I have that are lower level students, and even some educational parts where I can have a couple of my students video model themselves counting or saying the alphabet or doing some learning skills, and then those can be played back for them to watch. So video modeling and self-video modeling can be used in so many ways, and I think it's important to know that you can do these with behaviors or educational activities. Students can have ownership of them. Teachers can have a modeling system to them so they can help direct and see how that video should look and go. Teachers can also do it without the student knowing, although you need prior approval, but we can also videotape the students in action and show them, because I think it's very important to show students that they have ownership, that they can be part of this and that they can do it. I think it's very important because students today don't always have that positive energy, and they don't always feel that they can do it. So by showing the student that they are successful and they can do it, it will be very important for them moving forward. My resources I laid out in my paper, and also they're listed in here. These are all the resources that I used. And I found that there were lots of resources on the internet for video modeling.